everybody, to the Sports Couch. I'm your host, Craig Bergner. I appreciate you spending some time with us today. Going to be a fun one. We are going to talk some Walleye event number 4, happening on the Bay of Green Bay. Joining me in studio is the man with 2 first names. He's the Bass Man, but he can sling a little walleye action if needed. Let's give it up, Tyler Corey. What's happening, my man?
What up? Should be fun.
Walleye
we are
time.
Cresting the halfway point of the season here.
I mean, when you crest anything, it's got to be good.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know it. Yeah, man, back on the walleye train. They had a couple weeks off.
Yeah,
and, they're
a couple
back
weeks
at
in
it.
a row with the bass guys, and now we're back at it with the walleye guys. They've had a little time to regroup, and we'll see what happens.
They got to pack up their belongings and get the heck off of Winnebago.
Yes, finally.
And go have some fun on the Bay of Green Bay, where those monster fish seem to be hiding out.
Yeah.
Now, are they going to be able to pluck them out of the water? I guess that's what we're going to find out tomorrow.
So far, things are sounding okay. I know a lot of guys were a little concerned about this event with the alewife migration and things getting tough, and seems like numbers have been okay. Size has been good from what I've seen on social media and stuff from our guys. So I don't know. These are some of the best around at catching them and figuring it out. So I have no doubt that our guys will be able to figure it out on even a tricky Green Bay.
Yeah, in typical head-to-head fashion, we're going to be facing a storm tonight, it sounds
Correct.
like. It sounds like, of course, weather cannot cooperate with us for more than a day. So maybe we're going to see these fish that these anglers are on currently. Maybe they're going to pack up their bags and move to a different spot.
Move around a little bit. I definitely think that this one will not be one that you're just able to camp out in one spot and make it happen. I think you're going to have to cycle through some stuff as these fish move around. We're finally, especially with this week of weather that we've had, it seems like we're hard transitioning into that true summer patterns, which is always good.
Yeah.
Get out of that weird transition time of year, fish spread out all over the place. They should be fed up. They should be big. The post-spawn stuff should be out of the window, and we should be on true summertime stuff now.
So what do you expect? You expect big fish tomorrow?
Yes. I don't know.
I like that.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll see like the crazy numbers like we did in event 1 where we had the numbers and the size.
Yeah.
I think we might see some guys put 10 or 15 fish on the board, and that would be a really good day. I could be wrong. We could see someone throw up 30 fish for 90 pounds, but I think this one will be solid winning weights. We'll definitely see around that 40 to 50 pound mark to win a lot of matches, and some good size, some solid numbers. These fish should be fed up on alewives, and that's the tricky thing too, is these fish get that bait fish migration comes in, they start feeding up, and then yes, they get bigger, but at the same time, if they have so much of the real thing around, they have no reason to bite the fake stuff. So
yeah, be a beautiful thing. We got some good matchups this week.
We absolutely do.
We have one big shiny headlining matchup. Can't wait to dive into that. Man, a lot's going to change. Event 1 was on the Bay. They hammered like crazy.
They crushed them.
So we see a lot of these anglers, home base seems to be the Bay.
Yeah.
They love fishing the Bay.
For good reason.
You got that right. I'm looking forward to it. It's always fun when they can pull out some big weights and the big fish. And, man, can't wait to get into that. I need to rebound mightily on my picks this week. And 2 real big stinkers, much like Winnebago. My pick, not great. You've been
okay.
Steady Eddie.
Yeah, okay.
Doing your thing. So today we have the fan vote. We're going to be able to check in on that. We'll make our picks. We'll break down the matchups. And, man, it's going to be fun. Maybe get a little weather update.
Yeah,
somewhere in here.
That is what I am looking at right now. Obviously, a big factor anytime you go to the big lake is the wind. Today, with these storm fronts pushing in, we have a hard south breeze right now, 15 miles an hour sustained, and that looks to be about what it'll be all day. Hard out of the south. Tonight, we're going to see a wind switch to the north, 180-degree switch, and then in the morning, it's going to be 7 miles an hour out of the northwest, dropping down to about 2 miles an hour by lines out. So wind building throughout the day and then switching overnight and then dying off throughout the day tomorrow, which anytime you get those wind switches, it can do weird stuff with the water. It's been kind of blow and then not, and then blow and then not, and then blow and then not. Spent a bunch of time on the lower bay for the Wisco Bass event over the weekend, and wind was unpredictable. It was switching all the time, so I think that these fish are probably used to these changing conditions. It's not out of the ordinary to see this in this late May, early June transition time of year, so I don't think it'll mess with them too much. The only thing that does concern me a little bit, the upper end of the bay, especially right now, is crazy clear from a lot of those northeast winds that we had earlier in the year. It pulled a lot of that clean lake water in. 15 to 20 feet of visibility in some places out there. And that paired with no wind can make it very tricky to get these fish to bite. You're talking about longer casts, lighter baits, more natural. So we are definitely going to see some stuff like we saw Joe Okada do the last time we were on Bago. Guys getting super finessey, downsizing line. Downsizing baits, downsizing jigs, live bait, probably be a player. So all things to pay attention to.
Now, as an angler, are you playing the weather factor right now?
You have
to.
Are
you planning for this?
You have to.
I mean, we're looking at possible thunderstorm, rain tonight.
Yep.
I'm guessing temperature drops come with that thunderstorm.
Correct.
That impacts the fish and how they travel, correct?
Not nearly as much now that we're out of that springtime. The water temperature seems to have kind of stabilized a little bit. Still warming in the northern bays. We're not to that 65, 67 degree water. Maybe after yesterday, but I doubt it. Just one warm day like that can change a lot of stuff. But sometimes, honestly, that one warm day can mess a lot of stuff up too. It's inconsistent to what the fish are used to. So we'll see. It's something that you absolutely have to pay attention to. I don't know much about how walleyes react to thunderstorms. Obviously, there's a big pressure change that comes along with that, atmospheric pressure and stuff. Typically, when it's coming in, you have that lowering barometer. It comes through and you get that high barometer on the backside of it. Guys say high barometer tends to shut fish off. I tend to agree with them. That post-frontal stuff can get difficult, mostly because of the conditions that we're going to see tomorrow. Flat calm, high sun. Fish have all of their senses available to them at peak, and trying to trick them when it's like that can be difficult.
Do we know, is there rain tomorrow? I know there's thunderstorms overnight, supposed.
There is not. Not on my weather app anyways.
There you go.
But that being said, the last few days when I was up there, there's been pop-up storms and rain showers, and they have not been able to call it correct lately. I can tell you that right now. When I was out there on Friday, my app called for a slight shower around noon, and then we were good for the rest of the day, and it was supposed to be a high of 77. The highest that I saw all day was like almost 70, 68, 69, and it rained in the morning, and then it rained at noon, and then a whole line of thunderstorms came through between 4 to 6 o'clock. So,
nailed it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's honestly a toss-up. You're going to have to play it by ear, and you're going to have to make those adjustments. Like keeping your weather app handy to see what's coming is going to be critical, because you can't go off of what they said it was going to be 3 days ago.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's dive into event number 4. These are the walleye guys taking place on the Bay of Green Bay. Tyler starts talking 6:45 in the morning, getting us all fired up, filling us in on some weather, all sorts of fun stuff. And then lines in at 7 o'clock. Can't wait. And we're starting off with a banger.
Yeah, match 1 is the match.
Yes, this is the heavyweight bout of event 4, and a must-win for both of these teams.
Yeah.
So we have the 6 seed Cody Solberg, Ted Miller. They are 1-2. 2 skunk.
Yeah.
In a row.
Coming off 2 very, very rough events.
2 very rough events, and they are taking on, some would say, the kings of the Bay. The Katowski brothers, Nick and Andy Katowski. They dominate in the Bay of Green Bay. They're the 5 seed, 1-2. Winnebago hasn't been kind to either of these duos. Now, in the shortened season, already in event 4,
someone needs a win.
They
both need a win.
Yeah. Yes. And then guess what? They shift right back to Winnebago next event. So, must-win situation for both of these teams. Tyler, this is going to be fun.
Yeah.
This is going to be a good one.
This is the one to watch, without a doubt.
I think they both had this matchup circled on their calendar, ready to go coming into this season.
How do you
see it shaken out, man?
When they had it circled coming into this season, I think that they both anticipated being undefeated.
Or at least winning records.
This was going to be a top seed battle here.
Uh-huh.
Instead, we're talking about a 5-6 matchup, I believe.
Yes, 5-6.
Yeah. And two very, very tough events for both of these teams. They both need a bounce back. We've seen both of these teams excel on the Bay, obviously. They both know how to catch them out here. It's a weird time of year to be out there. A lot of guys don't have a ton of experience out there right now. I think it's going to be a battle of the Titans like we've talked about, and I honestly cannot put my finger on who has the edge in this one. They can both catch them. They've both proven to be head-to-head royalty. One won the regular season last year and got MVA. The other one took it all the way in the bracket.
Won the bracket.
It's weird to be talking about both of these teams at a losing record, coming off an 0-2 stretch on Winnebago, and that's the other interesting dynamic is one of these teams has to take a loss here and then stares down the barrel of Winnebago once again to try and collect their second win of the season.
I would say that Ted and Cody have had more success on Winnebago, but coming off of 2-0, like skunks.
Yeah,
like,
not recent success.
Yes, no recent success there. And the Katowskis, they
got their number.
Can't win on Winnebago right now.
Right.
So, again, must-win match for both these teams. I'm guessing they're putting in a lot of time.
Yeah.
It's going to be, they've done a lot of pre-fishing.
Yeah.
They know the importance of this. A loss is going to be detrimental to their season
without a doubt
here. Yeah, it's going to be brutal.
Yeah.
As an athlete, you feel the pressure. You feel the pressure mounts a little bit more and a little bit more. And I mean, we were talking about Ted and Cody, like conflict on the boat. What's going on with these two? Sing Kumbaya. Do something, guys.
Right.
Crack a beer together.
Yeah.
Something to like get to become that cohesive unit. They were hammers last year.
Yeah.
No ills on that boat.
No.
Just didn't feel right this year.
No.
Not feeling the same. And skunks, like zeros. What the heck are we talking about here, man?
Head-to-head royalty here. This shouldn't be happening
at all. So this might be the cure-all for them.
Now, that being said, I've gotten a lot of updates from both of these teams in the break.
Okay.
They've spent a lot of time in the boat together. They are working hard to fix this dynamic that they have going on. They're both feeling really good coming into this event. From what I've heard, I talked to Ted this morning, and he's as confident as ever. That being said, when I talked to him before both Bago events, he felt the same way. He felt like they were both winnable matches for them, and I don't know. It's so difficult to give the edge to one or the other. If I have to say who it is more must win for, I have to put it on the Katowskis. They are now 0 for 5 on Lake Winnebago.
Yeah, Winnebago definitely owns them.
What are the odds that they're able to reverse that in a true must-win situation in the next one?
Can you imagine if Ted and Cody stare down the barrel of a scoreless first quarter?
Oh.
The pressure is just going to squash these two.
Yeah.
They need to come out and get bites early and often and just get something on the scoreboard.
Get something rolling.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And I feel like once that is off the table and out of the way, they're just going to free fish, and it's going to be hammer time for those two.
That being said, look at what happened in Event 1 with the Katowskis. Look at what happened in the second round of the playoffs last year when this duo faced off against the Katowskis for the championship, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We said it coming in. This is the championship-style match right here, and the Katowskis have found a way to pull it off in the fourth quarter, second half, in all of them. So it's going to be as important to get a good jump as it will be to keep it rolling.
Yeah,
you can't rely on if you're Ted and Cody, you cannot rely on a 30-pound first quarter to carry you through the match because the Katowskis are just a ticking time bomb and they could explode at any point.
I agree. They make the proper adjustments throughout a match too. They're tough, and some teams have that clutch gene, and they definitely
they're one of them.
Do more so Ted and Cody. I just think like they have a monkey on their back.
Yeah.
So like just getting anything going is going to be huge, a big step for those two, and I think that might just might just ease all the pain for that one. This is going to be a really fun matchup.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a lot going on here, and both of these teams are so good, and like the records don't show just how good both of these duos are.
These are two, very sleepy teams to be at a 5 and a 6.
Agreed.
Obviously.
Yeah, this could literally. I would not be shocked if this was the championship match at the end of the bracket.
Yeah,
like they're that good.
Right.
We'll see. Katowski's, they got the cookies on their side, though.
Absolutely.
The power of the cookie.
And they're also, a loss here, having to go back to Bago, where it's against the odds. And then the carrot at the end of the tunnel is a championship on their home body of water. Like, they are absolutely gunning. They will be heartbroken if they end up missing that championship, but that's the situation we're in right now. This is where Lady Bago has put you, and you have to find a way to drive it out of the ditch.
Yeah, Katowski's are sitting at 81 pounds. Ed and Cody, even with 2 zeros in a row, are a pound behind these guys.
Yeah.
Like, they're right there. A loss, and then a Bago loss. You're sitting at 1 and 4.
I don't know how you make it in.
Clawing, doing anything you can to get in. Yeah, we're in must-win territory here. Tyler, this is crazy.
And if you lose in this one, you cannot get shelled. Like, it cannot be a 50-10. If you lose in this one, you have to be in it till the end, and you have to put up a solid weight, because we've seen it time and time again. If you don't pick up weight on the Bay of Green Bay, you cannot fill in those blanks on the Winnebago system. You just can't. There's no way.
If it wasn't Winnebago neck, I don't think this would be such an intense and important match.
Right.
We've just seen what Winnebago can do to both of these teams.
Yeah.
Especially Katowski's history, repeats itself. Because we're sitting 5 teams, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The majority of the field's 1 and 2.
Right.
My goodness.
I know.
So, put some weight in the boat this week. One of these teams is going to be really thankful they got a win here, and then do whatever you can to pull off a miracle on Winnebago. That's going to be fun.
Right.
I'm very excited for this one.
Yeah, this is the one that I will be watching intently the entire time, and the dynamic of it is going to be so fun to watch.
The hope is that they're catching a lot, so the cameras are always going to this matchup, and I can't wait.
I am picturing what we saw 2 weeks ago in the Bass League with Ty Hansen versus Malik and Gagnow.
Sure, yeah.
Blow for blow.
That would be great.
Fish after fish after fish. We can put them in a dual screen and watch both of them hammer them.
Yeah.
And it ends up being a tail of the tape at the very end. Like, who can get the last bite?
Oh, dude, a last cast catch would be money in the bank right there.
And I think it'll be equally as fun to watch if we see Ted and Cody go on a run and the Katowskis are down, and then they have to pull off a second half miracle like they've been known to do.
Yeah.
And then it turns out in the very end to be a 1 or 2 fish match. So, and I would not be shocked, the caliber of these anglers, to see that happen at all.
I agree. Yeah. I've noticed Cody sitting in the front of the boat, not really doing much.
Right.
And that's not Cody.
No.
It was weird to see. Hopefully we see, MVP.
Yeah.
Bring back Cody, the guy who was dominant in the league last year.
The communication, the pinpoint casting.
Beautiful.
The laser focus, all of it. I would like to see all of it back.
Yeah. And it's there.
Yeah.
If they found it in this break, great for us.
Right.
If they didn't, that sucks for them.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough.
Yep.
So, and then the Katowskis, man, we can go on and on and on. These guys are fantastic. Brothers, I love the dynamic on the boat. How they feed off of each other, and then when they make the adjustments, and they just go for it, and they get it done.
Yeah.
So, I'm all in. Great matchup. Let's hope it lives up to the billing.
Yeah, I agree.
If they skunk again, man, I'm just write them off.
Yeah.
Ted and Cody, let's go.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Yep.
All right, next matchup, we got the 3 seed taking on the 4 seed. We have great number matchups here.
Absolutely.
A lot could shift around here. We have the 3 seed Nickel and Golke at 2-1. They're taking on Ackley, and Alex King is subbing for Bob Kloss here. Okay?
Yep.
Both these teams at 2-1, 3 and 4 seeds. Let's check out the weights here. Alec Nickel and Damon Golke have 72 pounds. Kloss and Ackley have 35 pounds, so a big discrepancy in weight.
Yeah.
I'm on the nickel Golke train.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, the way that they are functioning on that boat.
Looked very strong in the last one.
Very strong. They're getting their footing in the head-to-head format here a little bit. Sky's the limit for this duo.
I agree.
They're tough.
Yeah.
Very tough. And then Alex King subbing for Kloss.
Yeah. Head-to-head experience.
Head-to-head experience. He's done it before.
Yeah.
It's nice when you can bring like a veteran in here.
Absolutely.
To step right in. How do you see this one matching up?
I think it's going to be kind of a duel of old school versus new school. We saw the Kings do a lot of trolling very successfully last season. I think of that last event where they almost doubled their season total weight in one event. Later in the year that was. But that stuff's all starting to go on. Like, you see a lot of guys doing it this time of year, getting it going, kind of starting on that stuff. And the nickel Golke duo is going to do what they do with forward-facing sonar and try and pick them off. I could see this being a trollers versus the casters. We really haven't seen much aside from the moots as far as guys pulling crankbaits and pulling spinners and that kind of stuff. I could see this going old school versus new school, and it's going to be very fun to watch how the wily Green Bay veterans take on the young guns that are up with all the tech, got the latest trends figured out, and spend a ton of time on the water.
I was really impressed last event. Winnebago wasn't kind to anybody, but they function really well on the boat together. Nickel and Golke do. Just how it was a lot like Ted and Cody last year.
Right.
Very cohesive unit. They helped each other. They made the proper adjustments. They were like fed off of one another. Yep. The more I'm watching head-to-head, the more I'm realizing that might just be the most important thing
that's huge
in this entire setup.
Absolutely huge.
Yeah. And I have a feeling King has fished with Ackley before.
Yeah. Yep.
So the cohesion on that boat should just slide right in.
Yeah, and Kloss and Ackley have looked pretty good in the boat together too. They haven't had the crazy numbers days or anything. We haven't spent a whole ton of time with them in the boat, but in the last one, we spent a decent bit of time over there, and they're out there having a good time. They keep it light, they keep it loose, and that's what helped them in the last one. When everyone else was really stressing about getting bites, they had an area picked out, knew that they were going to sit there until they quit biting, and they never did, and they ground out a win against Ted and Cody.
Wins are wins are wins. It's
absolutely
all name of the game here. You keep putting numbers in the W column.
Yep.
That is all that really matters. Yeah, I think this is going to be a fun matchup.
Yeah.
Interested to see, again, the shift from Winnebago to the Bay. It's different, and we'll see how they react on this one. I'm excited. It should be a fun matchup. And I love the new school, old school stuff. Let them go to town on each other. That's great.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, next matchup, we have the 7 seed. Huge win in last event at 1 and 2. Joe Okada by himself.
Yeah.
Looked like an absolute hammer. And he's taking on the Mootses. Joel Moots, they're the 9 seed, 1 and 2. And they have Ashlyn Moot?
Yes, Joel's daughter.
Yep. Okay.
And I believe that this is his plan to be his permanent partner for the rest of the year. I know that there's been some shifts in the boat with the stuff going on with Nathan. But, I believe
with
that
Nathan, man, for sure.
I believe that Ashlyn is the permanent fill-in in this boat. So they're going to get to finally get a head-to-head event under their belt together. We'll see how it is. I mean, the dynamic with the Grahams has been super fun with the father-daughter dynamic in the boat. So it'll be fun to watch another one of those. And then Mr. Okada is Mr. Okada. Just when
I wrote him off.
Yeah, exactly. I really feel like what we saw in that last event was kind of the true potential, a little glimpse of it, and I'm afraid we awoke a beast in that dude.
He was pulling monsters out of that water. Is that going to continue to be his strategy? Because again, on the Bay, we talked about it. He's by himself, slows his process down a little bit while other people are pulling doubles. He's got to do the single work.
Yep.
Is that just going to be his deal this year? Just looking for hogs out of the water?
I think so.
It works.
I think the dude targets a bigger class of fish, and sometimes that leaves him stranded, but other times it's like what we saw in the last one where he blows the doors off of it.
When he finds them, he's going to get them.
That's dangerous.
Yeah.
Very dangerous.
And do we have any idea how old Ashlyn is?
Nope.
And no, we don't know that yet.
No context.
We're gonna find out, huh?
Yeah, it should be fun.
Enter mystery partner. Again, at the end of the day, I love the family dynamic.
Yeah.
Brothers, father-daughter, father-son. I love that that's what Head2Head's kind of bringing together.
Right.
I think that's great. And my God, like lasting memories. You're filmed on a boat with your dad.
Right.
How cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll see. We don't know what we're walking into with Ashlyn.
Right.
She might be 20. We're not sure.
Yeah,
we're
no
not
idea
sure what's going on there. But I can't wait to see. And either way, Joel's going to have a really good time on the boat.
Yeah.
Day fishing with your daughter.
Right.
How awesome is that? And then Joe, if he catches 0 fish, he's still going to smile. He's going to be a professional. Yep. He's going to be awesome on camera. But I don't see either one of these duos not catching anything.
No.
Or either one of these teams catching nothing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, fun matchups. Always interesting with the solo act.
Yeah.
We never really know what to expect.
Right.
Because we know Joe's great. I see he was fishing this weekend at, Minnesota or something like that?
Yep.
Saw he did really well there.
Yep. He's got some positive momentum rolling in his direction.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. He's catching them.
You don't want a guy like that heating up if you are his
absolutely
opponent.
Not.
So, yeah, we'll see. That's a 7-9 matchup. And again, a lot of 1 and 2 teams. Weight is going to play a part in these guys down there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, keep putting weight on the board.
I know we said it in the last one, but if Joel takes a loss in this one, he's got to stack some weight up, man.
Yep.
He has to. He has to have a good numbers day. Or a good size day. However it needs to happen, the guy needs to find a way to put 60 pounds in the boat.
I'm fascinated by how old his daughter is going to be. I mean, the bass side, we see, a 9-year-old on the boat, doing his thing. It's all, we don't know.
Right.
We're not sure. So, yeah. And we don't know how the younger kids are going to react on a boat in front of the camera with all this stuff. So, yeah.
It's wild card.
A lot of wild card. Yes, a wild card tomorrow. All right, next matchup, we have the kings of the league so far. Number 1 seed at 3-0, Mitch Dawn, Kurt Yoder.
Our only undefeated team.
Only undefeated. And they're taking on the 8th seed. They're 1-2, Brody Barry-Ochoa and John Derleen.
Yep.
Dawn and Yoder be the only undefeateds, man. They're looking tough out there.
Yeah, they're looking very automatic.
Yes.
They knew it going into this season that they wanted to right the ship from last year, and this is a stark contrast to where they were at this point last season. Things are jiving in this boat. Things are gelling really well. We knew Bago was going to play to their strengths. They remained undefeated there, but thinking back to Event 1, I didn't want to be on the wrong side of that buzzsaw. I mean, they were on in Event number 1, and Green Bay is certainly someplace that they are not strangers to. It's not like they spend all their time on Winnebago. Mitch Dawn is very good on the Bay of Green Bay, and we saw it last year. Sometimes it didn't exactly go his way, but clearly we're dealing with a different angler than we were last.
Yeah, tough. And is it just how comfortable they are in the Head2Head setup?
Yeah, I believe so. I think that they've really found their footing here. They understand their process in the boat together. I think they're both putting in a pretty good bit of time before these events, and that might have been a factor last year, but
sure.
I think it's entirely just feeling out the process and finally, after being 3-0, having that confidence that, hey, we can beat any of these guys. Like, we are as good or better than anyone in this league, and we can do it.
They're in the driver's seat right now. All they have to do is just keep on winning.
They got that bullseye on their back.
You betcha. Things are different when you're the king.
Yeah.
But I mean, good for them.
Yep.
To be in the driver's seat at this point is a huge accomplishment.
Absolutely it is.
I'll just keep hammering. And then Derleen Barry-Ochoa. Thoughts on that boat?
Yeah, they've looked very strong in the last couple. Finally were able to pull out a win at Event 3. Probably their weakest performance so far was Event 3. But, being said, when we took that angler survey before the start of the season, this was an event that Derleen and Barry-Ochoa said, yeah, I think we could do really well in this event. We like the Bay of Green Bay, especially from Chambers Island North. And I'm not sure where the alewives are at in their whole deal, but I feel like that's a region of this bay that always plays within the boundaries. So I am very interested to see how they will handle this match.
Okay. 49 pounds on the season. So they got some climbing to do as far as the weight goes. But again, start stacking W's.
Right.
That's the most important. Yeah. I'm fascinated. I'm really interested to see where our picks go this week. We got one more matchup, though, before we make our picks. We have the 10 seed, the Grams. Sean and Riley Grams are 1 and 2, taking on our 2 seed. We just got done singing their praises prior to event number 3. They looked untouchable.
Yeah.
And they lost.
They did.
Eric McCoy, Steve Lobbs, 2 and 1 on the season. Tyler, we didn't think that they would lose.
No.
The rest of the season. They were just, you want to talk about well-oiled machine? Automatic. Yeah, we use the word automatic quite frequently with them. And then fishing gods opened up and said, not so fast. You're not automatic.
Yeah.
This is my world.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a tough ask for the Grams.
I agree.
This week. It's going to be difficult, but we've seen stranger things happen.
Absolutely. Yeah, and this is the one that the Grams in that preseason angler survey said this is the one that we're most looking forward to.
People like the Bay.
Yeah.
They want to catch
and
some
especially,
fish.
I mean, a lot of guys don't love this time of year, but the Grams are one of those teams that said, yeah, we like the tougher conditions out on the Bay. We want to be able to figure them out in these weird transition times of the year, and I think that they're willing to answer the call. But that being said, McCoy and Lobbs are a very tough battle to have in this match.
Yeah, extremely tough. And through 3 weeks, the Grams have 18 pounds.
Yeah.
And they're looking up at a team that's got 132 pounds to their name. Yeah. Worst case, even in a loss, the Grams need to put up some weight.
Yes, they do.
Like, they can love this event. They can really look forward to this event. It's time to put up weight. Yeah. You want to play the what if game? If McCoy and Lobbs lose this week, we go from a team that we called automatic,
right,
hammering everybody, to dropping 2 in a row.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, we will see. That is a very interesting point. Yes, absolutely. Eric's got solid momentum rolling. He was fishing a derby on Mississippi River, took a top 10 there.
Jeez. Okay.
So he's got it going on, and Steve Lobbs has been putting in his time on the Bay of Green Bay, fishing some local stuff around here, and the guys looked automatic like he always does. So these two are 2 of the best on the Bay of Green Bay, especially with all that's going on recently with the changes and that kind of stuff, the new ways of targeting these fish. So this will be a fun one to watch because they both know the Bay really well. Under these conditions, I feel like they could both excel with their strengths. So I think this is kind of a sleeper match here. A lot of guys are going to write off the Grams, but we'll see in that first quarter what truly happens, and then I think that'll kind of set the tone for the rest of these matches.
We've talked about this for 3 weeks now. The Grams are we feel like there's so much more to that.
Yeah.
Like they're just waiting to explode in one of these events. This would be a great one for them to do it.
Oh, yeah.
Let's make it a match, guys. Yeah. Let's pull up the fan vote.
Yeah.
It's about time that we make our picks. Andy is going to be making his pick through the earpiece.
Yep.
Let's start with the matchup we just got done talking about. Grams versus McCoy and Lobbs.
Yep.
Okay, man. Andy, I'll let you start. Who you going with in this one? Andy goes with McCoy and Lobbs. I'm going with McCoy and Lobbs as well.
Me 3.
Okay. And where are the fans sitting?
83% McCoy and Lobbs.
Okay.
So the Grams are the heavy underdog here. Heavy underdog.
Sometimes that's a good spot to be. That's not a bad place to be.
Brian Eisch talk about it on the Bass League last year. He loved seeing the fan votes when he was way behind against everybody. Sure. Didn't care, didn't rattle him. He wanted to go prove everybody wrong.
Yeah.
So
the thing with the Grams, I'll wrap this matchup up with this. Even if they catch 0, you can tell Sean is just having a blast with Riley. Like,
absolutely.
I'm on the boat with my daughter. This is the most fun thing ever. And you walk away from it smiling. It's awesome to see. I love it. Give it to him, Grams.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I would love to see that one be a match.
Yeah,
I think
I
it will
guess.
be. I think it will be.
We're just waiting on the Grams,
Yeah,
man. I feel
I
like
agree.
I totally feel what you feel,
Yeah.
and that they're just waiting to just have their coming out party here,
Yeah.
man. Let's go. All right, we have our number 1 seed, Dawn Yoder, taking on our 8 seed, Darlene Barry-Ochoa. Ty.
Yeah, this is a very interesting one. I've been riding with Don Yoder since event number 1, then they
You
proved
have.
me wrong, and I'm not jumping off that train in this one.
Okay.
Don and Yoder.
Andrew. Okay. I have Dawn and Yoder highlighted. I'm not gonna switch, but something in me right now is like maybe I'm overlooking this match.
You think you're far off, but the fan vote is tied right now.
Oh, nice.
Exactly
Okay.
50-50 on this one.
I
so
love that.
we'll have to see how that shakes out. It's only been up for a couple hours now, but I mean, we got some pretty solid feedback on there, and the fans are literally torn. 50-50.
And anytime there's a 1 next to your name, you usually get the fans
Right.
to just click on your name, and
Yeah.
that's the vote. But yeah, something about this
Yeah.
just feels fishy to me. Yeah. All right, Joe Okada taking on the Moots. Joe, I'm sorry to do this to you, but I am picking you to win this match. I am the big offer for Joe. I'm gonna find out once and for all if I am the death kiss
Correct.
for this guy.
Yep.
We're gonna find out. Ty, who you got?
I also have Joe Okada.
Okay. Andrew. Okada. Where the fans at?
Heavily Okada.
Heavily Okada.
91% Okada.
Okay. All right, Mootses.
Yeah.
Your move.
Heavy underdog.
Yeah, heavy underdog.
Let's see what happens.
Let's go. All right, 3 seed Nickel Golke taking on 4 seed Ackley and replacement Alex King. Nickel Golke for me.
Me too.
Me too. And Andrew, where are the fans living?
73% Nickel Golke.
Nickel Golke.
Yep.
Okay. A lot of clean sweeps in this week.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing this one is not going to be.
No, this one's going to be a very much a toss-up.
Let's start with, so we got Cody Solberg, Ted Miller, the 6 seed, taking on Nick and Andy Katowski, the 5 seed.
Yep.
This is the matchup of all matchups. Andrew, where are you going? Katowski's. Where are the fans?
Miller Solberg, 69%.
69%. Okay. Ty.
Katowski's.
Katowski's.
Yep.
All right. Ted and Cody. Let's go. I got Ted and Cody winning this one. It's a 50-50 split in studio for this one. I love it.
I do too. This is going to be fun to watch.
Just need this one to play out how we are all expecting it to play out. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, absolutely it is.
Can't wait. Walleye event number 4, Bay of Green Bay. 6:45 tomorrow morning. Tyler starts talking. He lets us know all the details, all the weather updates, all the fun stuff. Tyler, thanks a lot, man. It was
absolutely
a lot of fun today. Yeah. Andrew, nice job back there. We will see you all tomorrow, 6:45, right here on Fix. Come check it out. Walleye event number 4 on the Bay of Green Bay. Head to head. This is where you find it. Till we see you tomorrow. Be great.